So, with the new Splatoon 3 trailer dropping a few days ago, we get to see the multiple little story threads that have been hinted at for a while get expanded upon. Those story threads being things like the conflict between Judd and Lil Judd, the relationship between Lil Judd and Octavio, Grizko seemingly being involved everywhere, mammals not actually being truly extinct, and this goes on and on and on. But the point here that I'm trying to make is that there is a lot going on in the story of Splatoon 3. We're not here today to figure out what all of this means, but believe me, that day will be coming in due time. But today, I wanted to talk about just what all of these story threads mean in the grand scheme of things. Splatoon 3 is taking the story of Splatoon in a very new and extremely interesting direction. Rather than telling singular stories one at a time and one after another in a villain of the week situation, we're going to have longer stories that'll take some time to truly get through. Splatoon 3's campaign is looking not only to just be as big as Octo Expansion, but massive, and a story that tackles lots of issues going on in its world. There's so much going on, and I think that is a very good step for the story that this game needs to take. The inner conflict between characters is something that we've only seen touched on once, and most of it wasn't actually revealed through character interactions in-game, and this being the Captain Cuttlefish prejudice against Marina. We only really saw that through Marina's chat log, and sometimes we saw it in-game, but we didn't see the resolution until we got through Marina's chat log. We already know we're going to see some inner Judd conflict due to some of the sunken scrolls we saw, and we know we're going to have to deal with the Octarians getting a hold of the fuzzy ooze to try to take over Inkling territory. And we know that Grizko has something to do with literally everything. We also know that someone in Alterna is trying to get into space, so the pieces are all on the table to tell an intense, action-packed story in Splatoon 3. And this has seriously been what the series has needed for a very long time now. This game has so much deep lore that stretches back to things that we interact with every day in-game, and for the first time, we're going to be thrown into a situation that we don't know how to deal with. The objectives of all the Splatoon games prior have been super cut and dry. Save the Great Zapfish, save Callie, get to the surface. There hasn't been a whole ton of gray to deal with in Splatoon, but that is changing now. How do we stop an enemy that's using a power that we seem hopeless to stop? The only chance we have to stop it is to ally with another group that we've been abusing and stealing from for years. And what will the group that we've been working for to hurt our new allies think? How are Octavio and Lil Judd connected, and why does Lil Judd despise Judd so much, and how is this going to have anything to do with what's going on in the story? Why is Octavio not using the power of the fuzzy ooze on himself, but rather instead using out all of his Octo Troopers? Who is trying to get into space in Alterna, and just what exactly is Alterna? The point I'm trying to make here is that Return of the Mammalians is going to be freaking massive, and even with all of my questions, I bet I've only hit the tip of the iceberg in terms of where we're going in terms of the story of Splatoon 3. And I absolutely love that. Story mode is getting the love and the attention that it deserves. No longer is an extremely deep lore of the Splatoon series going to be limited to being shown in tutorials and art books. Everyone's going to be able to dive into these insane conflicts of Splatoon by themselves whenever they want to, and that is a really good thing. For way too long, the only way to learn about Splatoon lore has been to go out on YouTube or Twitter or wiki pages to find out more about what's going on in this, or actually spend the money to buy the art books, but like, who actually does that? Well, me, but I think it's the best thing in the world that everyone's going to be able to go out and see all of this for themselves without any of the help from anyone else. The treatment of locking Splatoon's lore to its art books has forever been the biggest issue in showing the players at the depths that this lore can go, especially when the most important lore is locked in an art book that's only ever been translated into Japanese and never anything else. However, it's looking like this isn't going to be the case anymore. Everything is looking like it's going to be dealt with. And not only is it looking like it's not going to be dealt with in just the lore, it looks like this is actually going to be dealt with in the main story. And what I mean by this is that we're actually going to see characters react to events that we see throughout the story, and not just learn about events ourselves in our own time. And in the end, that is the best way that Nintendo can build the Splatoon world. Show, don't tell, and it looks like they're understanding that now. The world of Splatoon is about to take a major turn for the better. The story being told is going to be something that's truly bigger than ourselves. I really don't think that we're going to be playing through another game that's all about getting from point A to point B. This isn't something that we've seen from Nintendo before in this series. For the first time ever, we're going to see conflict in the Splatoon world. Something a little more in depth than just the octopus stole our Pikachu fish. And yeah, though the octopuses still do have some of the Pikachu fish, look beyond that and see what's really going on behind the scenes. The Octarians have a new power that isn't just electrical. They have a strategical upper hand with the Fuzzy Ooze, and when we're not dealing with them, I'm sure Mr. Grizz is going to want to have a word with us on why we're not taking eggs from our new salmonid friend. And despite everything I've mentioned, we haven't even begun to talk about the biggest thing yet. You know, the big issue that's so big it's in the title of the campaign, the mammals, but that's a topic for another day. But just remember that when you hop into this campaign for the first time, expect the unexpected, because we have no idea just how deep this story is going to go. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope I've been able to properly express how I feel about the little tidbits of details we've gotten from the Splatoon 3 story, and holy crap, it does not look like Nintendo is going to hold anything back in this campaign. Maybe it's a bit too early to get hyped up about the story mode, but from what I'm seeing, it looks like Nintendo's not holding back any stops here. But let me know what you guys think about what we've seen of Hero Mode 3 so far. But anyways, that is it from me, gamers. See ya.